All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, celebrated March 7, National Be Heard Day is an occasion for small business owners and aspiring owners to make their voices heard. The day celebrates small businesses and encourages them to stand up for themselves and their ideas and lay claims to their share of the market. Whether we like it or not, small businesses are the drivers of our economy.
Absolutely, absolutely.
They are the ones that employ the most.
Yeah.
It seems small, but they actually contribute heavily to the GDP. And the thing about small businesses is that even they themselves don't respect the power that they wield.
Yeah.
The people they employ don't respect the power that they wield, right?
I do not know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
So for instance, as a small business owner, you employ someone and you're paying the person, let's say 50,000 naira.
Mm-hmm.
The person will not respect you. But the same person will go to a bank and the bank is paying them 30,000 naira. But because I'm working for a big organization, but hey, I think it's always nice to hear small businesses, and that's why for us here every Friday we try as much as possible to dedicate, to talk about the challenges around small businesses and see how we can improve them. It'll be nice to know what you plan to do for small businesses in your constituency, because Surulere is one of the industrial and commercial capitals of Lagos. There's a lot of activities. I remember when I first moved into Lagos, it was what did they call it? Everybody, there's one particular salon.
Make me.
If you've not gone to that Bobby's, if you've not gone to that salon in Surulere, you've not gone to the salon. Because it was like the whole of Lagos girls would always go to. So it was like the hub aggregating until Lekki opened up. And they started sharing their market. But Surulere has always been. So that's why you have a lot of work in your hands.
I think he's ready. He's just smiling.
You think he's
just smiling. He looks very chilled and calm.
Yeah, but chilled.
Oh, well.
She's also there. There's someone there. Those people. He has a plan.
Good plan.
I am actually very, very interested.
So the question is that what plans do you have for small businesses in Surulere?
Oh, that's the question?
Yes.
You started?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things about Surulere is it's a one-stop shop, right? Literally everything you need is in Surulere. And one of the things that we need to start promoting is the value of small businesses and small business owners. Just off of how the economy has been, especially of recent, it's been a bit of a chore, especially for people that are just trying to start their own businesses. So one of the things that we have planned to do if elected into office is to make sure that loans are easier to be accessed. Also incentives for small businesses in terms of what they would like to do to give back as their social responsibility, and also involve bigger players from the corporate sector to come and really set up more of their corporate social responsibility in Surulere, so that we can just make the environment a lot better to work in. For example, if we work on things like, say, transportation systems now and set up grants or involve existing transportation businesses to come and set up shops working with the network of small business owners, that can help to ease some of the amounts that they spend in terms of getting goods from one place to the other. So that's just some of the things that we have planned for.
I'll ask more questions later, because there's something around multiple taxation. So maybe you should breathe on that.
Right, of course.
Yeah, but let's quickly go. What did you find for us in the news?
So, waiting game as lawyers argue CBN's compliance with Supreme Court's verdict. So, of course, there is the talk about Nigerians may endure cash squeeze for weeks despite Supreme Court ruling. And but this is what I find particularly interesting. So I think the problem is there is for and against. Some people are on the side that because the suit or petition to Supreme Court, it doesn't involve CBN. Some legal minds are of the opinion that CBN is not particularly obligated to oblige that. And then some people, so really again the law is such that they have interpretation. Exactly. So while we wait,
I can't do lawyer work.
while we wait, the CBN is very silent on this.
You've not said
anything. And of course, we know that Emefiele cannot really say anything. He has to get his instructions from the president. And, well, the president has not said anything. CBN has not said anything. Supreme Court is talking.
Governors are talking.
Governors are talking.
So they need money for elections.
We are waiting and let us see how this just plays out, you know.
Right. Angie, what did you find for us?
So my what's in the news is a peculiar story about 4 U.S. citizens who got kidnapped in northern Mexico border of Matamoros.
I watched that on CNN.
After gunmen opened fire on their vehicle. According to the FBI, the 4 had crossed the border into Matamoros on Friday and were traveling in a white minivan with North Carolina license plates when their vehicle came under fire shortly after entering Mexico. The FBI San Antonio division stated that all 4 Americans were placed in the vehicle and then taken from the scene by the armed robbers. The conditions were unknown. I think as of today, that's the video playing. Yeah, as of today, I saw in the news that 2 have been found dead and 2 are still alive. And the incident resulted in the death of a Mexican citizen. And the FBI is currently offering a $50,000 reward for the return of the victims and the arrest of the culprits. You see, I think something similar, a similar incident happened a couple of years, I think last year, actually in October, where a certain lady called Shaquilla Robinson went to Mexico in company of 7 of her friends. I think there were 7, and they went there for, I think, a birthday party. And there was an altercation between the friends. And eventually, this resulted in the death of Shaquilla. Shaquilla. Yeah?
You know, the thing is, they actually said, because I was watching the news, and they said that these are like part of, you know, the way the US give advisory.
Yeah.
So they had given them advisory to say that there are no-go areas, that you don't just, you know, go to certain areas, you know, for... So I'm just wondering, waiting they said in Mexico, where they know if you go for another place.
Because it's freedom.
This incident, the lady was going for a tummy talk and had 3 of her friends escort, you know, going along.
So
with
because
her.
now, because it's cheaper there.
Yeah.
Now, you know, the government is just wary that when they give travel advisory like that, it's not because they just feel like telling you not to avoid
have
places.
Intelligence.
They have some information that says this place is a volatile area, is prone to kidnapping, and they still go ahead.
Most of even Mexico is gangs and you know, cartels and what have you.
So my story is actually tied somewhat to Diola's own. Traders are saying that they cannot do transactions without, you know, cash. The people, they trade in, what's it now? These farmers that trade in, is it rice or something, right? So they don't want to do anything called electronic transactions. And their claim is that most of the transactions that they do, they buy from rural farmers, and those rural farmers don't
they're
know
not inclusive.
what bank accounts are, right? These are grain traders. They trade in grains in Abuja. So they are saying that most of the people they buy this grains from, the farmers, the local farmers, they don't do transactions with electronic means, that it has to be cash. So they cannot see themselves going, you know, cashless and doing transactions like that. So this thing is actually, so I keep on saying to CBN, it's a fantastic policy, but we just have to find a way to make it all inclusive, because Nigeria is not really fully ready for, you know, see today now, this transaction I say I sealed, because it's a big transaction. 2 alert enter. The remaining 2 now, I don't use corner eye, they check whether it's coming in or not coming in.
That's even a day.
And I had to let them go. Just imagine, would I have left them to stay with me until I see alert? I can't leave them now. Since 1 p.m.
There have been certain incidences. Just now while we were doing makeup, I was just talking about it. I was trying to do a transfer and it was urgent, but I was stuck. I couldn't do with quick teller. I couldn't do it.
Well,
so
I want to hear is your thoughts on this cashless.
It's not the most convenient of times, but I am of the belief that the purpose of the entire thing was really just to make sure that the election period was free and fair. Those are the underlying factors that I personally think are the driving factors for a whole new Naira design or the redesign. The only problem is the back and forth. That's where it is a bit confusing. Today, some notes are legal tender. Tomorrow, they're not. Everybody's trying to go to the banks to access the notes that you say they can get. First of all, you can't even use the ATMs that you manage to get to the bank. They're telling you can't have more than 2K, 5K. POS operators are building house in Ikoyi off of the rates. You know, you're using the Naira to buy Naira. It's ridiculous. So I would have hoped that at least they would have tried to make it a much more comfortable transition for Nigerians, because there are certain people that are really living on a day-to-day basis off of the monies that they get in cash. And I think they're the ones doing, you know, worse off in this situation.
Absolutely. All right, so on that note, let's take a break. I want to face Olumide. Let's know his why, right? Let's know his why. Stay with us. We'll be right back.